Hello Aries and welcome to Sincere Tarot. This is your What Do You Need to Know for March reading, and your energy is the King of Cups. So this could be one of few things. It could be a water sign male energy in your life. It could be something to do with really balancing the head and the heart, really having a lot of emotional maturity. But it could also be that you've mastered something that has to do with emotion in your life, and that could be anything from like being a master in psychology, for example. All right, let's see. What does Aries need to know for April? Well, you definitely have completed something. Oh, wow. Okay, so this might have to do with, this is interesting. So I feel like there's going to be a bit of emotional maturity and growth during this month. It has to do with something in the past. Is the King of Pentacles. If this is a person, it's an earth sign male. It's someone who's very down to earth, very practical. It could be someone that you work with, for example. Also, it could be some sort of, it can represent an organization that has to do with money or physical products or land, something to do with the three-dimensional, okay? Now, you are coming up as the Knight of Wands, so I feel like this is often like the start of something. It can be, well, not necessarily the start, but kind of like well into the start of something that has to do with a spiritual, creative gift or something that you're doing. So like you're coming up like you're very intuitively guided and like listening to your intuition. You're in touch with that, okay? It looks like it may have something to do with work because the energy in between you and what you need to know is the Three of Pentacles, which often means work, but sometimes it can represent a relationship because us, the other person, and the relationship itself. But something that you need, that you're kind of doing a really good job at regardless, okay? What you need to know about is that there's something in your life that's come to a close, complete. It's done, right? But it's a good thing, you know? It's like, you know, you've won the race, you've celebrated, something like that. I feel like for some reason you might be not becoming more and more, even though you're in, as you are watching this right now, I feel like you are really in the zone. You know, you're listening to your intuition, you're doing what feels right. But I feel like by mid or the end of this month, something that has to do with this month, you become out of touch with something because the outcome, we've got the Seven of Cups. That can be illusion, delusion, smoke and mirrors. It can be like mental or emotional illness in a way, and it can also sometimes represent like substance abuse and addictive kind of behavior. So I feel like things are going really well right now, but I feel like you might actually kind of cut yourself off from people, and that's not necessarily going to be helpful in this situation. Yeah, and also I feel like if you're listening to me right now, you're probably not being like, what are you talking about? This is ridiculous, because this is totally like ego-based, like I know what's best, my way or the highway kind of attitude. Yeah, so it feels like it might be a little bit kind of up and then down, right? But you're definitely going to have some emotional maturity with that King of Cups. Let's get some clarification cards. So clarification for Aries about what they need to know for April. Okay, it's almost like, even though it's going to be a little bit up and down, it's like something that you needed to go through and learn. This is interesting. I feel like it's like things are going so well that, and you're feeling so good that it's almost like, it's like someone who's totally on course, so they kick back and relax and stop looking at where they're actually going. Because you're like, things are going so great that it'll go great forever. And then you stop kind of your focused attention. You might get a little bit distracted. Before completely closing what you need to finish, you might start thinking about what you want next a little bit too soon, jumping the gun. I feel like you might, when it comes to work or perspectives, you might be a little bit too narrow-minded, a little bit too focused. You need to broaden your horizons when it comes to your perspective, and it might have to do with if it's something to do with your work or organization, there might be some crucial information that in the past was left out that you're not aware of. The outcome is that you will find balance because, I mean, yes, you're going to kind of maybe go a little bit off the rails in a way with your focus even, but you're going to come back to balance, right? I think, yeah. So, and if that has to do with substance abuse, please be very careful, but I do see yourself getting yourself back on track, which is great. I feel like you might be physically alone, but still have lots of messages and communicating with people, but you're not really with people. You might feel like you're kind of have a community and connection, but it's not like that real community and connection that you need. I feel like you're going to come to peace potentially. Like, I feel like it might have to do with the home potentially that you're becoming a little bit narrow-minded with. Like, you know the way that things should go with your family, or it could be a family member. Okay, I just want to clarify, okay, what is this? Let's clarify this outcome once more. Okay, so I feel like you think something's over, but it's not over until it's over, because now we've just clarified with the Death card, which is like the end of a cycle. So I feel like you might kind of be in denial, like, oh, everything's totally fine. And so, okay, oh my gosh, I was just talking about this earlier today. So sometimes if we're like, okay, example, let's say you're like, oh, let's say you suffered from alcoholism, okay? And you're like, well, I haven't had a drink in a long time. I haven't desired a drink. Therefore, I'm not an alcoholic anymore, or I don't need to worry about it, or I don't have a drinking problem. So you're like, okay, so everything's fine, so that you're not reflecting on whether you still have that in you. And so you're like, oh, I'll have a little drink. And then it gets worse, but you're not like actually connected with like things aren't going well until they really go badly. And then you're like, okay, maybe I still do have a problem. So you need to always be constantly reflecting. And then you will kind of find that balance and moderation. And then you will end the cycle, if that makes sense. Okay, let's get some advice cards. All right, advice for Aries. So yeah, it's not over until it's over. All right, advice for Aries for this situation. All right, pretty good advice. All right, first advice card, we have got the 10 of Cups, which means like always stay connected with community as much as you can, as many loving connections, friends, family, partners, colleagues, literally everyone. Make sure you've got a really good network to the best of your ability, okay? Because there are a lot of people that care about you. It's just, you do have to try and keep those connections alive, and it's a little bit harder these days, but it's still doable. Second advice card, Strength card. You can accomplish anything. You are so tough, and even though you have your ups and downs, like you will 100% get through it, for sure. Third advice card, we have got the 7 of Pentacles. Patience, patience, patience. Patience when it comes to your physical body. Patience when it comes to accomplishing things. Patience when it comes to money and, you know, work and things like that, and having financial stability. Sometimes we invest, and there's a delayed payback. You will get that delayed payback. You're still in the investing stage, so just keep being patient, keep investing, okay? You will see an amazing payback in the future. It's just not time for the payback yet, okay? Yeah, all right. Fourth advice card, we have got Judgment. So I feel like there is going to be a wake-up call by the end of the month, most likely, with whatever this is that you think it's over, but it's not over. But you will finish it by the end of this month. If you'd like a private reading, send me an email or check out my website. That is all in the description below. You can also follow me on social media. Thanks to everyone who's liked, shared, subscribed, all that good stuff. And if you're still here, you get a secret bonus card. Ooh, 8 of Swords. There might be something that you're like kind of mentally blocking from yourself, and you're not really you're not looking at it, or you might think this is you might kind of have a mental block, and you're like, okay, this is the only way that things are going to go, but you're really just blinding yourself. Really, there are so many different options and alternatives. So if you ever feel like you have a closed mind, or like this is the only way that things are going to be, just know, nope, you just don't see all of the options, even though they're like right in front of you, okay? So you have way more options and opportunity than you realize, okay? Have a great month. Bye.